Welcome back to the Bars and Sticks Trader channel. So today, we'll be practicing the trend reversal again. Now here I entered again. Here was the low. This was a higher low. It moved back up, came back down. It put in this bottoming tail. Clear some of this out. Put in this bottoming tail, and that was the entry. This green line right here, this green line, that's my average price. Now I'm looking for this price to continue to move up higher. Now one of the things that I'm taking note of is look at those moving averages. They are moving down. But this is the 20 period moving average, and it's above. Now this could move straight up, and that would be great. However, if it comes all the way down into this area, that's bad, and I'll have to exit with a loss. So right now, I kind of just have to sit and wait and watch to see what happens. Now, this chart, each one of these bars, that represents 2 minutes. So 2 minutes needs to pass. Now, the fact that this is moving fairly slowly, it's not necessarily a bad sign. But key area of importance will be what happens when it reaches here. Will it be able to continue higher, or will it be rejected? Now, if it's rejected, there's a number of scenarios. So the first rejection, here could be small bars, maybe like these bars, or like this bar, control of movement down. Bars like this, that are pretty sizable in nature, well, that's pretty powerful. And bars like this one here, if this bar happens and it immediately moves down into here, well, then I'll have to wait. But this is the main area, right here. This is the area that's important. So now what I'll do is I'll sit and wait on a bar by bar basis. And while that's happening, I can look at different bars. So I now have my plan. I know exactly what I'm going to do if it moves up. I know exactly what I'm going to do if it moves down, and how it moves down. So while I'm waiting, I'll look for bottoming tails. I'll see how many bottoming tails I can find on this chart. Here's a bottoming tail. Here's a bottoming tail. Here's a bottoming tail. Here's another bottoming tail. So I try to make the use of the time worthwhile. Now I'll look and see if I can find topping tails. Here's a topping tail. Oh, here's another topping tail. So here's a topping tail right there. This topping tail happened. Here's the high. Now I was not able to get up there so far. But these moving averages are beginning to catch up, and they're beginning to move up. So I still have to wait. In the meantime, here's another bottoming tail. I'll continue to look for the topping tails. So here is a topping tail. Here's another topping tail. Here's a topping tail. Oh, here's another bottoming tail. Now movement is still slow. Nothing's happening. Now there's nothing to be concerned about just yet. Remember, I have a plan and I know exactly what I'm going to do. This has to make sudden movement in a very strong way. If that happens, well then, it's bad news. And that just means I have to exit the position. It just didn't work. However, I was able to recognize this pattern, and I was able to recognize this higher low right here, and I was able to recognize this higher high. Now looking at this, I could have entered in a different area as well. This came down, and it moved up into here. And then it came down again. So as this begins to move down, now I start to look at this and question, was this correct? Did I enter at the right place? Or could I have entered sooner? Now this is beginning to move down. Now remember, it has to move down into here. But coming back and examining this, it moved up, it moved down. This was the original low right here. And then it moved up again. So this area, that was the original low. As it began to move above that low. So that was a low, that was a higher low. Technically, I could have entered within this zone. That was possible. But there's a lot to look at in this chart. There are areas of what's known as major support, which is this here. This is major support. Oh, here it comes. So I may get stopped out on this play. Remember, this is my area. That's the area of no return. And it looks like I will get stopped out. When it gets this close, you let it run through. The only saving grace at the moment is notice, remember, here's 1 bar, 2 bar. This is the 3rd bar, which is quite wide. But there's my stop. Have to get out. And I was wrong.